Hello, everyone. It's Thursday, June the 3rd. I hope and pray everyone's having a good last few days. We've finally gotten a little teeny bit of rain, and we need that. But at the same time, you know, it's summertime. We hope we'll get as much sunshine as possible, and that's good stuff, too. We have lost 10 additional people since I was with you on Tuesday. And again, over and over, I tell you just to give them all the respect in the world. You know, this terrible pandemic has been a real killer, and it's hurt so many families, so devastated, and so many loved ones and everything that have been impacted, and it's impacted all of us. But especially keep these people in your prayers. Our 2,798th death is a 79-year-old female from Jefferson County. Our 2,799th death is a 54-year-old male from Barber County. Our 2,800th death in West Virginia is a 65-year-old female from Mingo County. Our 2,801st death is a 75-year-old female from Monongalia County. Our 2,802nd death is a 69-year-old female from Tyler County. Our 2,803rd death is a 66-year-old male from Raleigh County. Our 2,804th death is a 67-year-old male from Harrison County. Our 2,805th death is a 61-year-old male from Tyler County. Our 2,806th death is a 64-year-old female from Harrison County. And our 2,807th death, a 49-year-old male from Raleigh County. Wait, you know, I just hate this. I hate it so bad. I just absolutely hate it because we've lost 2,807 great people in West Virginia. In this little state, 2,807 people is just unheard of. That's all there is to it. We lost a 49-year-old and a 54-year-old in the last few days. You know, it's just tough stuff. And so, not for me and not for anybody down here, but please remember these people. Please don't let them be that. That's what I say all the time. Don't let them become a number. Don't let them die in vain. You know, for all those that are out there that are listening to me and everything that may be just a tinge hard-headed, you know, say, by God, I'm not taking that vaccine. Are we not turning our back on these people that have passed away? We know without question if you take the vaccine, you're going to, you know, be much safer yourself. You're not going to expose your family or others all along the line. We know that by taking the vaccine, all of us pulling the rope together is what will get us across the finish line. So your refusal to do so, I would ask you to really just think and really think about it. In respect for all these that we've lost, just don't let them die in vain. We need you to get that vaccine. We need you to step up and step up today. And I'll get more into that in just a few minutes. But we had 144 new cases in the last 24 hours, and that's really low, probably because we tested less. We had a 2.78 positivity daily percentage, which is really good. Our cumulative number continues to fall. It's at 5.08%, which is really good. Our active cases are 4,084, and that is tremendous, to tell you the truth, compared to where we've been. Our recovered cases are 155,220, and we only have 183 that are hospitalized now. And when we go under 200, we should note that. We have 62 people in the ICU units, and that's good too. And the other thing that's really neat is we don't have a red county now. But not only do we not have a red county, look at all the counties that are in the green. I mean, the number of counties that are in the green continues to grow, and that's really good. I remind everybody that's 65 and older, if you get the least bit sick in any way, please, please, please go get tested. We can save your life if we catch this thing early enough. Please go get tested. With the antibodies that are available to us, we can't use them very, very effectively if we catch this thing 10 days into your being positive. Now, I've got something to announce, and this is always dear to my heart, and I hate this like crazy and everything, but we all know the job that our coal miners do and how vital they are to this nation, how vital they are to all of us in our communities in this state, and we lost one. We lost one yesterday in the Marion County Coal Resources Mine. You know, in Wetzel County, we lost a coal miner. His name is Trenton J. Dilley, 26 years old, of Little John. He was fatally injured overnight while working in an underground section in the mine that I just told you. You know, anytime we lose a coal miner, it is always noted because these people have done an incredible work, incredible job. Their job is dangerous, we know that. And we also know that, this man was struck, we think, by the edge of a rib of a coal support pillar that fell and struck Mr. Dilley as well, and he was a section foreman. You know, a 26-year-old that had risen to the level of being a section foreman. It's amazing. It's amazing how talented and how good our young people are. But absolutely, I want you to join Kathy and I in prayer for this family, for this great young man. He'll really be missed, and I know this family's really suffering. But we thank him for all of his service. We thank him for all of his smarts in growing to the level of being a section foreman in this mine. So with all that, please remember this wonderful young man and his family. Okay, in regard to a special session, later today I will call a special session of the West Virginia Legislature for next Monday at noon, which is during their regularly scheduled interims. I am calling it to appropriate money that we've already received from the federal government for DHHR and the Department of Education. But as I told you on last Tuesday, we reported a $152.2 million surplus in the state of West Virginia in the month of May. We are pushing and knocking on the doors of $400 million of surplus. So in my request for the special session, I have also requested that they commit an additional $150 million of this cash to our road maintenance program. And this money is needed, is significantly needed, and will continue to help us push out all the stuff, and I'm going to show you right now up here and everything, a map that this is all 55 counties, and we will have a total of 402 projects. The total miles of paving will be 742.84 miles. The total slips and slides are 17, the total bridges 40, and total other projects 111. Now listen to me. Absolutely, this absolutely will really help us continue on the pathway that we've been on, and that is to continue to do more and more and more to make our roads better and better for all of our residents. But in addition, for all of our residents, it absolutely will drive more and more and more folks to come to West Virginia. So in that, I am requesting that they commit $150 million of the surplus that we're going to have this year, right now, the surplus that we have on hand this year to highways. And that's exactly where I think it should go. And I am very hopeful that all of our legislatures will join me in support of all of our counties and everything, because All these projects are over all 55 counties. We've tried to make it as fair as we can possibly make it and absolutely cover every single county. And in doing so, you know, I think we'll bring a lot of goodness, we'll bring a lot of extra jobs, we'll bring a lot of opportunity, and more than anything, we'll get our roads fixed. And that's what we're trying to do each and every day here in the state of West Virginia because, you know, I've said it over and over. Our roads didn't get in this shape in a couple years. It got in this shape over decades and decades of neglect. And now with our legislature stepping up, with the governor's office stepping up and everything, we can really, truly continue on our pathway of doing more and more projects and getting more and more folks out working. And not only that, get our roads back. You know, get our roads not only back, get them better than they've ever been. And so if our legislature is willing to support, you know, this movement and everything, we'll be on our way, we'll be on it immediately. I've got another announcement that I'm really proud of and everything to announce, and that is today, you know, we have, with our Mountaineer Challenge Academy graduation, we have a class of 73 cadets that will graduate today from the West Virginia National Guard's Mountaineer Challenge Academy camp at Camp Dawson. Cadets from 23 counties will be graduating there, of which 90% of them will receive high school diplomas. 42 of the cadets will enter the workforce. 18 people will enter vocational trades. 9 cadets will join the military. I couldn't be more proud. That's all there is to it. You know, what we're doing with the Mountaineer Challenge Academies, you know, now north and south for all practical purposes, you know, it's all good stuff and everything. And whether these kids and these young people, their future will be in the military or it'll be in the classroom or it'll be in the workforce, the opportunities they provide and that have been provided to them as well are just invaluable. You know, a lot of these kids we may have lost. That's all there is to it. They may have drifted in a direction that would not have been good and everything. So I congratulate them all in every way. I wish to goodness I could be there with them and everything, but I tell them over and over, it's just way to go. Way to go. I mean, what an accomplishment. I'm so proud of you. This is your launch pad. Now go do it. Go do great stuff, as I know you will. Okay, now I want to talk about the lottery stuff, and I want everybody to relax just a little bit and have a little bit of fun with this and everything, because we have struggled with, you know, what are we going to name it? What are we going to name it and everything? And so what we said before was, you know, if you can't do it for yourself, you can't do it for your family, you can't do it for your friends, do it for Baby Dog. So we're just going to call it that. We're going to call it Do It for Baby Dog, and we're going to put in quotation marks what Nathan said before, and that was, he said, save a life, change a life. You know, or change your life. Save a life, change your life. And so, in just a second, you know, I'm going to have Baby Dog come up and everything, but you know, I want to go through this again. If you don't get vaccinated, not only are you missing an opportunity in every way to do great stuff for yourself, great stuff for your loved ones and everything else, but you're going to miss out on the opportunity, and somebody's going to be winning and winning really big. You know, don't miss that opportunity, for crying out loud. We're going to give away all kinds of neat stuff and everything. We're going to start on June the 20th. That's going to be the first drawing. Somebody's going to walk away on that day with $1 million. Somebody's going to walk away with those Rocky Ridge trucks. Somebody's going to walk away with college scholarships. Somebody's going to walk away with some really neat, you know, custom hunting rifles or custom shotguns and everything. There's going to be a lot of stuff we're going to do for people that can go to our state parks and everything, and we absolutely are going to have some fun with it. So with that being said, you know, y'all bring Baby Dog up here and let everybody see Baby Dog one more time. She came with me today, and we're only like I said, we're only having a little bit of fun with her and everything. But now just listen. Again, And look at this darling little face here. If you can't possibly turn her down. That's all there is to it. You may have turned down yourself. You may have turned down your family. But how can you possibly turn down this face? I mean, this face right here. Absolutely. This is little baby dog saying, please, please. She's just waving at you. Please go get your vaccination. Please go get your vaccination. Win all the prizes that are out there, but get vaccinated for you, for your family, for your loved ones, and absolutely for this little cute little face right here and everything. She's a good little girl, and absolutely I want y'all, absolutely everyone, to get vaccinated. You'll help us stop this killer. You'll absolutely help in every way. It is so safe, it is off the chart, but you got to get it done. You got to get it done right now. So do it for this little cutie. All right, thank y'all so much. Okay, you got to get down. Okay, vaccine eligibilities for 12 and older. We've been through that over and over. You know, from the standpoint of our young people that are, you know, from 12 to 35 years of age, we've got to get you vaccinated. I've called on over and over and over for our parents, our grandparents, help me get those young people across the finish line and get them vaccinated. For the 16 to 35-year-olds, you'll be receiving that savings bond or gift card. That's all in the works. From the standpoint of the vaccine distribution update, 84.6% total administration rate at this point in time, first and second doses. You know, let me see. Nearly 3/4 of West Virginia residents over the age of 65 now are fully vaccinated. And 84% of them have received their first dose of the 65 and older. You know, of the folks that are 50 and older, we're now exceeding 75%. All great stuff. But now get this. Here's the thing to watch. We're now at 59% of the people in the state of West Virginia have received their first dose that are eligible 12 and older. Now what we want to do is we want to get that number to 65% by June the 20th. We've already got the 50 and older to 75. We've got the 65 and older to 84. We're trying to get them to 85. Now we've got to get to 59% to 65. And so all of you, go get vaccinated. Every single person is driving that number. Come on, we can do this. Now the other thing is the businesses, the manufacturing, the churches, all their congregations, just call us. Call us and we'll come and vaccinate all of your congregation, all of your business, all your employees and everything. Think about what Pilgrim's Pride did the other day. They had a vaccine clinic where they vaccinated 800 of their people. It's unbelievable. It's great stuff. And so we absolutely take our hats off to Pilgrim's Pride in every way. From as far as the COVID vaccine, you know, info line and everything, you know, it's all up there. From the standpoint of our call to arms, you know, which is basically calling us all to arms to be able to get the vaccine and everything, you know, from the standpoint of where we're going to be on June the 20th and be able to eliminate these masks and everything for all of us. Right now, if you're fully vaccinated means you've had 2 shots of Moderna, you've had 2 shots of Pfizer, or 1 shot of Johnson & Johnson. And it means after you've received 2 of Moderna, 2 of Pfizer, or 1 of Johnson & Johnson, you wait 2 weeks after that, and then you're good to go. You're completely good to go. But June 20th, we're still tracking June 20th to get rid of the mask period. As far as the testing, all the stuff is up there and everything on our webpage and everything, you know, so you can see that over and over we should be thanking Fruth and Walgreens for all the great work they did and you know, in their drive-through testing and everything. And there's so much, but take advantage of the testing. Just take advantage. We have 11 outbreaks in our long-term care facilities. We have 7 outbreaks in our churches. That's jumped up just a little bit. We have 5 counties. That's Monroe, Nicholas, Webster, Taylor, and Pendleton counties. We have 6 inmate cases and 3 staff cases in corrections. Unbelievable job, fantastic beyond belief. We have, we're asking you again, especially those that have had any kind of issue whatsoever, but if you have recovered from this dreaded killer, consider and please give blood. I want to again thank Mark Curtis. Mark, tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow's the day that this thing's going to be going on, big clinic going on in St. Albans. All kinds of neat stuff that's going to happen there. For anybody 12 and older, they can come and get vaccinated and everything. The first 300 customers that come through, or we call them customers, but people come through and get vaccinated. First 300 that come through are going to get a $20 gift card to use at any of the St. Albans businesses. And Mark tells me there's lots of great restaurants and shops in St. Albans. That's neat stuff. I know that to be the case. I know where most of the restaurants are, unfortunately, but I only tease about that. But I didn't get this way by not eating, and so no matter where you live, if you need a vaccine, stop by on Friday, and that'll be really great. So again, Mark, thank you a bunch and everything. And now I've got an announcement to make as far as they're calling it Tinter. And today we announce a new way to camp in style this spring and summer through a public-private partnership with Tinter at 4 of our West Virginia state parks. Online reservations are available for 37 new Tinter campsites. It's up there on my website at Hawks Nest, Lost River, Blackwater Falls, and Cacapon Resort State Parks. These campsites are offer a very comfortable stay for all the folks and everything, and it's a little different and everything, but it's really neat. I think you'd really, really enjoy it. They're furnished and with mattresses and tables and a heater and everything, and you can enjoy West Virginia beyond belief. And I want to especially thank the heads of our tourism and DNR and all the great work that they're doing there and everything. It's good stuff. And so for more information, go to state parks on our website and everything. You'll get that. But that's all I got today. And again, I really encourage you in every way to get vaccinated so you can get in these drawings. I mean, it's big stuff, and you'll love it. I'll love it. I mean, to be able to give somebody an incredible prize and everything for something that we all should be doing is really, even though we shouldn't have to give away prizes and stuff to get people across the finish line, if we get them across the finish line, I love it. So let's just keep doing that. And like I said, do it for Baby Dog. That's good stuff.
All right. Thank you, Governor. Let's now go to Dr. Clay Marsh, our coronavirus czar.
Well, good morning. And to reinforce what the governor has said, we know that in the United States and in West Virginia, we have seen an incredible downturn in the number of daily new cases of COVID-19 and weekly cases. We have also seen a reduction in hospitalizations, and that is really related to the incredible effectiveness and safety of the vaccines that we have. And when we look at countries that don't have that benefit of having available vaccines, and we see that they are having still many problems. We look at our South American countries, Latin American countries like Peru, which now has the highest per capita death rate in the world. We see that there is still an intense amount of suffering and severe illness and death related to COVID-19. So as the governor has really asked all West Virginians to do, we know that we still have about 40% of our vaccine eligible population not vaccinated. And in looking at countries like the United Kingdom that has done a really good job of first vaccines in arms, but not completed the 2 vaccine cycle for the Pfizer or Moderna vaccines, that they are seeing breakthrough cases with the variants that they have in the United Kingdom. So it also says that it's really important for all West Virginians who've gotten one dose to go ahead and complete. Make sure you get your second dose, and then 2 weeks after your second dose, you will be protected against getting COVID-19 and also protected against getting ill, even if you would get infected with COVID-19, which is a really small chance you would even get infected. So the incentives the governor has outlined are exciting, and it's great that we have an opportunity for people to benefit personally even more than they benefit personally by getting the vaccination. The only other thing I wanted to address today that came up from a previous conversation was that some people are thinking about the emergency use authorization for the vaccines. And just to dispel any rumors or false understandings, the careful nature of the assessment for the safety of the vaccines is really the same between formal approval and emergency use authorization. And emergency use authorization was created after the 9/11 terror attack on our country to be able to facilitate and move life-saving treatments very quickly to the American populace, because there is a lot of just red tape that the FDA has to go through for absolute full approval, of which Pfizer and Moderna are both in that process. That's usually a 10-month process. And obviously, keeping these life-saving vaccines from our citizens would have caused innumerable deaths and hospitalizations and sufferings. So everybody in this viewership and people in West Virginia should feel very safe that these vaccines have been very carefully assessed by the FDA and the CDC to the level or beyond the level that they would be for full approval. And we see in real world use that they are incredibly effective, and they're also incredibly safe, as the governor said. So there is no reason that people should not choose these vaccines because of the status of emergency use authorization versus full FDA approval, because the assessment is just the same. The emergency use labeling just allows those vaccines to be delivered to needing Americans and needing world citizens in the most efficient manner so that we can save lives. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Marsh. Next, we'll go to Major General Jim Hoyer, the director of our Joint Interagency Task Force.
Good morning. I'd just like to reinforce the opportunity that the governor, our state legislature, and our congressional delegation have given these young people at Mountaineer Challenge Academy with the effort to stand up a second academy for 73 young people who were either in danger of dropping out of school or had already dropped out of school, for 90% of them to achieve their high school diploma in that 22-week period, and the balance of those to go back to finish their education, is not just good for West Virginia, but it's a national security issue. So again, thanks to the governor, our state legislature, our congressional delegation for the great work in allowing us to continue that program. We continue to make steady progress, although slower than what we have seen related to vaccinations. As the governor pointed out, we have surpassed our goal for the 50 plus, and I think we are on a track to continue to move beyond that and possibly to close to 80%. We continue to move forward with 65 and above, but we need to hit that 85 mark soon. So please continue. If you're over 50 or over 65, work with your providers, work with the opportunities we have available to you, go out and get that vaccine. As the governor pointed out, despite what I saw reported on national news last night, we are above 51% of our total population and above 59% of all the eligible population, and continue to make progress. Some other good news is additional primary care providers are picking up doses to have in their practices to be able to engage with their patients and talk to them about the importance of the vaccine and help educate and get those vaccines out. So I'd encourage more primary care providers, pediatricians, get with us at the Interagency Task Force and let us help you get doses so that you can get your patients educated about the value of the vaccine and the importance of getting it now. And we will continue to move the needle for West Virginia. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Secretary Bill Crouch with the DHHR and Dr. Ayn Amjad, our state health officer, are also joining us today and are available for questions. We'll now go to questions from members of the media. The first today from Mark Curtis with Nexstar Media.
Good morning, Governor and staff and cabinet members and fellow reporters. Thanks again, Governor, for the shout out of the vaccination clinic in St. Albans tomorrow. I just reiterate to everybody, it's open to all West Virginians, not just people who live in St. Albans. Anybody can come. So we'll see you tomorrow from noon to 6. My question is this, Governor, if you reach your goal and masks are taken out on June 20th, are you going to start in-person press briefings rather than the Zoom briefings?
Mark, I don't have any problem with doing the in-person later on and everything. It's just, I mean, you know, I've taken every single question. I've tried to not, you know, I've surely not given you a political answer, you know, and but you know, all the media can participate. Anybody can call in and everything. We try to answer every question. We, you know. It seems like it's been an orderly way to move things along and everything, and not get distracted over some little, you know, incident that may not be significant to the people of West Virginia. But I have no problem answering any question at any time.
All right, thank you, Mark. Next, we'll go to Charles Young with WV News.
Hi, this is Charles Young with WV News. Governor, so are we only going to have one agenda item for Monday's special session? Is this, you know, appropriation of funds the only thing the lawmakers will be dealing with? And so you only anticipate it lasting a day, I would assume? Thank you.
Charles, I think there's 3 items. There's federal funds that have already, you know, that we've already gotten in and everything, and those federal funds, you know, with DHHR and with education, you know, the Department of Education, we've got to get approval on you know, how we're going to handle those funds, and then the biggie is you know, $150 million out of the cash surplus that we have this year right now and everything, because we surely don't need to dump it over into the rainy day fund and everything. We've got a rainy day fund now built up to a level that is absolutely you know, at a significant level that we don't need any more money in our rainy day fund. And so from the standpoint of that $150 million to go for maintenance and highways across all 55 counties, that's a biggie. That's really important and everything. So it's 3 things. And I do not anticipate that we'll need to go over extra time and everything. As we get more things, you know, that come along and everything, we've got we'll call them back and everything, and we'll go through all the other issues as well. But we're working together really good. You know, we're meeting with leadership and everything. Everything seems to be moving along in a good way.
All right, thank you, Charles. Next to Kenny Bass with WCHS and Fox 11.
Hi, Governor. This is Kenny Bass with Channel 8 and Fox 11. A couple of questions about the vaccine giveaway. I've received some information from state employees who've been told by their supervisors that they are not eligible, even though they're vaccinated, because they work for the state, and the West Virginia Lottery will be administering giveaways, and they want to avoid an appearance of impropriety. Their argument is that these funds, the employees' argument is that these funds are not lottery funds, they're federal CARES Act funds, and that they shouldn't be penalized because they work for the state if they did their civic duty and did the right thing and got their vaccination. So that's the first part. And the second part, some out-of-state residents or people who have out-of-state driver's licenses but who still live here in West Virginia, they've moved here recently, they've gotten their vaccinations here in West Virginia. Are those people eligible to enter the giveaway if they are West Virginia residents but still, say, carry an ID from Pennsylvania or Ohio or Kentucky because they've just recently moved here? Thank you.
Kenny, I'm gonna have to get a little bit deeper to get the right answer as far as the out-of-state people. Are they eligible because they've moved here and everything? But if they're a resident of West Virginia, I think they're eligible. So I need to dig a little bit deeper in that. But your first question to the employees that are working in the state or the impropriety or whatever it may be, are they eligible? Absolutely, they're eligible. The only people that really aren't eligible are the people, I guess, that work for the lottery or myself, and so, I'd love to have one of those trucks, to tell you the truth, but nevertheless, I think that's the only people that aren't eligible, but the only reason that they're not eligible is the impropriety issue, and so we, but the folks that you're talking about, I'm sure that they're just the lottery in my office are the only ones that I think are not eligible.
All right, thank you, Kenny. Next, we'll go to Stephen Adams with Ogden Newspapers.
Yeah, Steve Adams of Ogden Newspapers here. First question's related to Charles's question, but when you're talking about DHHR and the Department of Education appropriations, are we talking about appropriations from the American Rescue Plan, or is this just moving money around? And then the second question is related to Mark's question, which is with the rotunda being opened back up, I believe they're getting ready to put the chandelier back up in the Capitol with the special session, at least for one day next week. Is it possible, would you consider getting rid of the executive order that limits people inside the Capitol to just people that work there and people that have official business and have appointments? Would you open the Capitol building back to the public at large? Thank you.
Okay, Stephen, to answer your first question in regard to these federal dollars that we're talking about with DHHR and the Department of Ed, they are from the American Rescue Plan, so I think we're good to go there. From the standpoint of the Capitol being open and everything, I don't think that I have an executive order. I don't think I've got an executive order at all that is now limiting access to the Capitol. But the legislature are those that decide who comes upstairs. I think that we're not offering the tours as of yet, but nevertheless, all the rest of it is just I do not think there's an executive order that's limiting access to the Capitol.
All right, thank you, Steve. Next, we'll go to Paul Mullen with WCBC.
Good morning, Governor. Good morning, panel. Governor, I want to drill down a little bit on this $150 million for the roads. Are we talking about filling potholes and general maintenance? Are we talking about projects that may be in the queue and have been waiting for a while? What are the plans for that money?
It's primarily potholes, maintenance, slides, and just general maintenance because there are some bridge situations and everything we've got to address, some small bridges and whatever, but all these projects are maintenance driven. These are not big projects that that would be a Roads to Prosperity project or something like that. They're just what I told you.
All right, thank you, Paul. Next to Brad McElhenney with West Virginia Metro News.
Hi, Governor. Hi, everyone. I've got a couple of questions about some prominent West Virginia businesses, yours. I'm trying to figure out a couple of things about the recently filed Justice Companies lawsuit against Carter Banks. There are references in that lawsuit to trying to refinance a substantial portion of debt to Carter Bank with a new lender. And what I wonder is, was that lender Greensill or someone else? That's my dog. Say hi to baby dog. The complaint also makes reference to a 5-year loan on Greenbrier properties that came due June 1st, a couple days ago. Does that refer to the resort? And how is the financial condition of the Greenbrier? Thank you.
Okay, Brad, let me answer this. And everybody's got to realize 2 or 3 things. First of all, my family does big business, and they've done that forever. And the knowledge that I have had from being able to do that, I've brought to the governor's office. And to be perfectly honest, that's what a lot of the reason that I've been able to be as successful in doing things, because I had a lot of knowledge, I had a lot of experience, and that's why the voters, they knew that. And so I you know, unfortunately, from time to time, you get into disputes and everything, and you have a disagreement with somebody, and that's why you either sue somebody or somebody sues you or whatever it may be. From the standpoint of the health of the Greenbrier, from the standpoint of the health of Bluestone, both of them are extremely, extremely healthy, and they're doing well and everything else. Now, from the standpoint of the loan, you know that we had a lender what we were trying to do is basically pay Carter Bank off. You know, pay Carter Bank off for a large percentage of the loans that we had with Carter Bank, because we found Carter Bank very, very, very difficult to work with. Now, I'm not going to go into the play-by-play, because in a lawsuit, you know, our lawyers are advising, you know, you really don't have any business talking about that. But from the standpoint of the other lender, it was not Green Seal. Good gosh, I'm telling you, Green Seal. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, with what Green Seal has done to my companies, you know, that are being run by my kids, are you kidding me that we would be looking at doing a loan with Green Seal? I mean, but really and truly, we were just trying to pay Carter Bank off, and lo and behold, you know, it's just almost a straw that broke the camel's back. You know, Worth Carter died, you know, a few years back. He was a great, great man with honor beyond belief, and we did a lot of business together. I'm sure it was along the way, it was tremendously helpful to the bank. It was tremendously helpful to our businesses. We did exactly what you're supposed to do. We did everything from the standpoint of doing the right stuff at the bank, and Worth Carter was a prince of a man. And since his death, I mean, it's been chaos at that bank. And so nevertheless, you know, the Green Seal thing, though, you know, I keep going back to this. It can't be a worse actor. I mean, when it really boiled right down to it, you know, we had no clue in the world. And then all of a sudden they walk in out of clear blue nowhere, and they're bankrupt in 48 hours. And what they've done is awful to a lot of people, and us having no idea whatsoever. And really, from the standpoint of Credit Suisse, you know, they were funding Green Seal. They're a bank. I mean, for God's sakes, they're a bank. Should they have not known this? You know, and they, in essence, were basically co-conspirators with Green Seal and the whole thing, in my opinion. But nevertheless, we'll get through it. We're in good shape, you know, from the standpoint of our companies and everything. Everybody needs to quit worrying about that. You know, what we need to worry about is what we're doing right here for all the people of West Virginia. And we're going to keep on doing that.
All right, thanks, Brad. Next to June Leffler with West Virginia Public Broadcasting.
Hello, Governor and panel. So we've had vaccines for our 12 and 15-year-olds for, you know, about 3 weeks. We've had vaccines for our 16 to 18-year-olds for several weeks. Are we seeing is that making any difference as far as our case count, as far as the average age of people getting COVID? Anything you can update on that end?
Okay, General Hoyer's going to have to do this, June, but you know, just keep in mind this. You know, when we were at a vaccination rate of pick a number. I mean, 55%. You know, of our eligible population. And then when you have another group that's added to your population, you know, from being at 16 and above, then we drop down to 12 and above. When you do that, you basically, you know, if you're at a total vaccination rate of 55% of all you're eligible from 16 up, and you add another group on day one, you're only going to be at 51% or whatever the number may be. because you've got to start there and start building back up from there and everything. So that's that, I think that's the math. The math in general is this: there were 78,000 people that were added to the roll. And when they were added to the roll, none of them were vaccinated on that day, and so what we've got to do, we got to build them back to 55% to be at right where we were. And then to build above that, we've got to get, more and more vaccinated. So as well as, all those 16 and above. So General Hoyer, go please.
Yes, sir, Governor. So June, we've continued to see steady increases in the 12 to 15 and the 16 to 18 continue to take the vaccine at a good rate. I'll defer to Dr. Marsh and Dr. Amjad as to the value that has had for us related to COVID illness in those age populations, but we are seeing good steady decline in our hospitalizations going forward. So Clay, I'll pass it to you.
Maybe I'll lead off, and then please add anything else. So June, thanks for the question. We still see the median age of our positive cases about 34 years old. And when we look at our new cases, and particularly our 7-day averages that we find, on the DHHR website, we see a really substantial reduction in new cases across all populations, but particularly around our younger population, because we know that the 10 to 30-year-old population really were the group that was spreading most rapidly, both from the standpoint of total COVID cases and also from the variant cases. So we have seen a real substantial reduction in that. And we do believe that the uptake of vaccinations, the decision and the choice to vaccinate our younger West Virginians has played a major role in that. Other comments?
No, I'll just echo that, because when we used to look at the 7-day trend from the 10 to 39-year-olds, we used to see numbers in the 300 to 400 cases, as you mentioned, Clay, and now those numbers are below 200 consistently over the last few weeks. So we do know that those age groups are getting vaccinated, and even our outbreak cases, in churches, schools, and also those places that younger people tend to be more at are lower. So we do know that because of that effort, people are getting more vaccinated in the younger population, which is great. Thanks.
All right, thank you, June. Governor, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, I don't really have a whole lot, and I'm just going to touch on just a couple things. The registration will start tomorrow. For all the people that are going to be, entering the drawings. I think that's going to be at 5 p.m. tomorrow. And so that's when the registration will start for you. If you've had your vaccination, to be able to register for the drawings, please go online. I mean, these prizes are unbelievable, and you may be a winner like you can't imagine. So the registration will start tomorrow at 5 p.m. for all people that have been vaccinated. Go online and figure out how to do that. It won't take but a second and everything, and you may be a gigantic winner. That's all there is to it. The other thing is the general, said today he was very kind, when he brought up the governor or the congressional delegations and all that they've done over time and everything in regard to the support of our Mountaineer Challenge Academies and all the good work that they're doing. And, all those folks that we graduated right now are 90% graduation rate and everything. And they've gone through some tough stuff. They really have. And we congratulate them beyond belief. But let's give credit where real credit's due. The credit ought to lie wholeheartedly in so many ways with the great work the National Guard's done. I mean, really, it's great that the general was kind enough to bring up our congressional delegation. I hope I'm not forgetting somebody else, and me as well as the legislature, all the great work that they do as well. But now let's just think about it. Let's just step back and think about it. if you would go and you would see the great work that the National Guard's doing every day to protect us, everything that they do to help us in every way, and the great work that they're doing with these kids, it is unflat believable. So, General, and to all those in our great National Guard, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I thank you for all West Virginians. Absolutely, just keep it up. And these kids are on their way now, and you know, touching a life, changing a life, it is big stuff. And so thank you so much to all of our great National Guard and all the stuff that they do each and every day. Thank you all in every way.